Welcome, Joe Varney. How you doing?
I'm very well, Andy. Very happy to be here in what I would call our watering hole now.
Absolutely. I think it's been called on the series so far, the Aforza HQ number 2.
Excellent.
Stone throw away from the new London office.
Yeah,
and,
very much so.
I've probably been here more than the other offices, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Excellent. Well, look, welcome. This is the Aforza Podcast series coming live from the BrewDog Waterloo Podcast Project. And in the Employee Insight series, it's all about just getting transparent, raw, talking to our employees about why they love working for Aforza, what they're focused on, and really why others should come and join us.
Right on.
So super excited to be working with Joe here, one of our earliest employees, right?
Well, yeah, I was just trawling through LinkedIn to try and find the exact number, but 3 years and 5 months, I think it is.
Wow.
So feeling like part of the furniture at this point in time.
Old school, right?
Yeah, old school.
Good stuff. So, Joe, do you want to take a minute to just briefly introduce yourself? Maybe talk a little bit about when you started, the role you were doing, and the role you find yourself in now.
Yep. So, Joe, 25, from Southwest London originally. I started, as I said, around 3 years ago now. Fresh out of university, went into a sales development role. Very lucky that Dom, Ed, and Nick took a chance on me at the time. It's fair to say my degree wasn't quite related to what I'm doing now, but I have to say I wouldn't change it.
Degrees in industry cloud, right?
Yeah, something like that. So the advertising degree is a little bit far removed, maybe a few of the slide decks that I put together now. But sales development through to an account executive role. So it's managing our relationships with clients and new business in the Middle East and Africa mainly. Also, shouldn't forget the UK, where I worked alongside White Mackay, who are now one of our trusted clients as well. So, and now been privileged enough to move on into a new position, working with our Chief Commercial Officer, Ed Butterworth, on building out our channel and alliances program, and that's effectively means enabling our partners and driving new business with them.
Fantastic. And having a lot of fun doing it, right?
Having a lot of fun doing it, and I think aside from anything else, being able to get out and meet our partners and actually share over, a coffee, food, a pint, whatever it is, the passion and the value that we think Aforza has in the market, and just coming into a business 3 years ago where I'd never had that kind of social interaction. It's been brilliant. So, yeah.
Fantastic. Right. So we're going to jump into the topic at hand, which is really about the joint industry value proposition that we have for the market and why our partners love working with us. But before we do that, I ask everyone this. And Joey, tell us something a little bit interesting about yourself that maybe no one else knows, even at Aforza.
Yeah, well, my claim to fame is that I actually featured in 3 kids' TV programs when I was younger. Wasn't down to my talent. I can't claim that one. But my sister is a brilliant singer and actress. She's now a practicing opera singer, and at the time she was a very kind of pretty girl, and managed to rope me along to a few of her auditions, and we got a couple of kind of duet roles, which was fun.
There we go. So from on screen to the industry cloud, right? And
quite the experience.
All good. So let's kick off by, can you talk a little bit about talking about the benefits of a joint value proposition with our partners, and really why you've seen a lot of our partners want to work with us and the benefits that they see in the market?
Yeah, completely. So I think one of the things that it definitely helped me do is articulate your value proposition a lot more closely, in terms of, it is the foundation of your offering, and it creates that strong differentiation between you and your competitors, but also because you're leveraging, in our case, the industry expertise that we have, particularly in our employee history. I know we've got people from the likes of AG Barr, Molson Coors, Carlsberg, so really rich backgrounds, and some of those employees spending over 25 years there. Combining that with the kind of Salesforce platform expertise, but also the business change and kind of consulting expertise that our partners have. It really is the recipe for, a high value proposition, that value add offer that, from the client's perspective, gives them something back. We often do ours over kind of a 2-day period, but are very conscious that each individual does, they're doing their day-to-day job. So we try and limit the amount of time they have to spend with us, but also maximizing the value that they get out of it. So, and also coming into it with very clear objectives of what they want to get out of it as well, because as I said, time's incredibly valuable, especially in consumer goods where there's so much. It's probably one of the few industries that has so much complexity and nuances around whether you're go to market, whether you're dealing in modern trade or traditional trade. And I think that's something that the partners really get back from us as well, because they end up being trusted advisors, but also having a much deeper understanding of an industry that very few are able to really master.
Wow.
So
let's double click on that. So you sort of boiling back the joint value proposition, as you said, we work with a lot of partners that know the industry, right? They're industry veterans. They focus on consumer goods and similar, sub-industries.
Yeah.
What's it been like for them to find Aforza? Suddenly a solution that speaks their language, can add value to the customers they serve. You talk a little bit about the excitement you see on that side of the fence.
Yeah, and I think we've always seen it when I was in more of a kind of selling role. When you're able to demo something to a prospective customer that really speaks their language and their lingo, and doesn't need smoke and mirrors to do that, it's quite rewarding, and I think
stands out, right?
Stands out. And then when you flip it on its head and you've got partners who are in with the customer actually implementing Aforza, and look, we're in a kind of economic situation where customers really have to think about these decisions that they make, and when they invest in Aforza, that's a serious commitment to the business. So I think it's very rewarding for the partners then having a solution that actually stands up to what's been sold in by our accounts team. So
it's their credibility, right?
Yeah, completely. Credibility on the line. And I think that in itself is obviously something to shout about. And I think also the kind of the roadmap and the expanse of our solution as well. We are obviously looking for long-term partnerships, and I think that's a core value that aligns very closely with our partners in terms of, we always talk about the crawl, walk, run approach with Aforza, but it really is the case that you can start anywhere. But it's a digital transformation journey where you don't take Aforza and then need a different point solution to solve another challenge 6-12 months down the line. Aforza is really all-encompassing in that sense, and that gives the partner, selfishly more opportunity to grow in that account.
Fantastic. And I mean, you're out there talking to partners every day, working with them. What are some of the tangible things that you think really excite them about the solution?
I think it's the immediate benefits that the customers see. So
it's out of the box, right?
It's out of the box. It's something that can be implemented in weeks, months, which is historically probably before I was even step foot in the industry was something that was hard to come by. And I think where are we right now in BrewDog, and I think probably one of the reasons they've been so kind as to let us have so much airtime is due to the fact that the value we're driving for them over, I think, a 3-month period is.
And what is that? Yeah, can you double down on that?
So Jerry Shedden, head of on-trade, was able to increase on-trade installs. So their presence in bars and pubs by over 250% in a 3-month period.
And I'd read that in CGT magazine, right?
Yeah. So another kind of, we'd call them a partner, I think, another really trusted partner of ours that are, great at amplifying content and kind of speaking the truth of the customer. And so I think that it speaks for itself, really.
Fantastic. Two questions. Let's start with the partner side and then maybe more on the employee side. But on the partner side, if somebody wanted to become an Aforza partner, they're listening to this podcast, they're liking what they hear, they think, hey, I work in FMCG, I'm facing off to sales leaders and I'm struggling with the solutions I've got today. What can they do? How can they get involved with Aforza? But more importantly, what are some of the benefits that they could see coming out of a relationship with working with us?
Yeah, so I think starting at the very beginning, we for a growing company, we have a tremendous amount of resources now in terms of I'd say the first start is to go on our website and just have a look at the modules, the key pains and problems that we solve in the industry. But then following on from that, socials, YouTube right now, I think we have a myriad of content from product releases that we do 3 times a year through to product tutorials, but also through to actual customer case studies. I think we've recently published a video where our customers actually walking through the process of them using Aforza out in the field and the benefit that's having.
Yeah.
And that in itself, if I have to say, honestly, if you go through that content and you don't think Aforza is right for you, then it probably isn't. But
so there's a lot of self-education material, right?
Self-education material. But if I guess following on from that, a conversation with the team here, Ed or I are always happy to have that conversation and see what your objectives are, whether they align as well with our objectives and values, and then following on from that, we've got a great team in customer success. I think right now they're doing an enablement with a partner of ours, and those guys will go through a number of workshop sessions where they'll upskill you on the platform. Obviously, talk about the product, not just in its the technology and the functionality, but also the value drivers in terms of how different functionality actually aligns to different personas in these consumer goods businesses.
Yep.
And more importantly, why it matters. I think there's a lot of product selling that goes on in the industry today, and I think it doesn't really cut through the noise. And I think at Aforza we're very good at understanding in our market, whether I'm a sales leader, a marketing leader, someone in finance, what is the problem that I'm facing on a day-to-day basis, and why does Aforza actually solve that, right? For me? Yeah, exactly. So I think hopefully I probably went off question a little bit there, but that would be some of the easiest ways for them to get acquainted.
And you're right, and I think maybe just to double down on the fact that Aforza also has our CSAT program, so our Customer Success Alliances program, that if a customer does want to get involved officially, then one of our go-to partners. Yeah,
correct. And we have partners of all shapes and sizes as well. We have global SIs that we work with, regional SIs, but also, if you're a technology vendor as well, and you're in the consumer goods space, maybe you're dealing more in the supply chain side of things, but you see that there could be a synergy. Again, that's not something we discredit.
Let's talk, right?
Correct.
Absolutely.
Correct.
No, fantastic. Thanks, Joe. And then I said this was a 2-part question. My second part is, you've been here for a long time, right? Probably one of the longest serving employees. You've been around, you've seen it all. What's your advice to anybody looking at Aforza and considering joining? What would you say to them?
I think, this first point probably the same as many startups, but really, if it's all about speaking to, I think, the executives here. If you're lucky enough to have that introductory conversation, you'll immediately understand that there's full transparency through the business.
You've always said that. I've heard you say that time and time again.
Yeah, it might help that I've been here for a while, so I've got pretty good relationships with people.
But it is open, right?
It is so open, and and the path for progression. I've as I said at the start of the call, never did I think I'd be in kind of helping guide the direction and strategy for our channel and alliances, but it's where I am now, and I'm truly grateful to be able to do that alongside a great team. So that's it. For me, I think that's, you don't really need another reason.
There we go. So you heard it from Joe. Come here and work at a company, if you're lucky enough, I heard you say, where you can genuinely add value and transparency from the top, right? So you know if you're doing well, but you also know if you're not. And
yes,
you always know if you're making an impact.
Correct. Everyone's held accountable, but I don't think a business thrives if you're not.
There we go. Well, Joe, that's been an awesome podcast. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thank you for having me, Andy.
In the Waterloo podcast studio. That's been Joe Varney with his podcast on the industry cloud value proposition and why working with our partners is so exciting. So Joe, thanks for your time, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.